If you are over 60 and lately you forget names that should be obvious, that is not aging. That is your brain physically shrinking as the cells that clear amyloid plaque shut down faster than your body can replace them. By the end of this video, I will show you the exact morning ritual that supports brain mitochondria and helps the body clear that plaque, plus the full 21-day protocol I built for the people inside the Mitochondria Reset, on sale this week for $27. But first, the 3 real reasons your brain is shrinking that nobody at your annual checkup will tell you. Reasons that have nothing to do with age, genetics, or how much you read. And one suppressed route that, according to peer-reviewed research, may reverse the entire process. After age 60, the average human brain loses approximately 5% of its volume per decade, according to research published in the journal Neurology. 5%. That is the equivalent of an entire region of your hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores names, faces, and where you put your keys. Gone, every 10 years. And it gets worse. Inside that shrinking tissue, sticky proteins called amyloid plaques start clumping between your neurons. They are like glue between 2 computer chips that are trying to send a message to each other. Your doctor will say this is normal aging. That is not true. Brain shrinkage is not a clock. It is a chemistry problem, and chemistry problems can be reversed. By the way, Susan from Denver, 68 years old, retired teacher. For 3 years, she had been forgetting the names of her own grandchildren mid-sentence. By day 21 of the protocol, 21 days, she stopped forgetting names entirely. Her doctor told her it was a coincidence. She did not find that protocol at her doctor's office. She found it in the first link in the description of this channel. Anyway, now back to the actual science. In 2018, a research team at the College of Pharmacy in Seoul published something that quietly shook the small world of dementia researchers who pay attention to plant medicine. They were studying mice with brains injected with the same amyloid plaque that defines Alzheimer's disease. One group received an active compound extracted from a common kitchen root. The other group received nothing. After 14 days, the mice that received the compound showed dramatically reduced microglia activation, the inflammatory cells that swarm around plaque and burn out the brain tissue around them. Synaptic markers had recovered. Memory function had returned. The compound is called 6-shogayol, and it comes from a root you already buy at the grocery store. Here is what nobody is explaining about brain shrinkage after 60. Inside your brain, there are cells called microglia. They are the brain's cleanup crew, like little vacuum cleaners that sweep up amyloid plaque before it has time to clump. When you are 40, those microglia run on healthy mitochondria, the energy factories inside the cell. When you are 60, those mitochondria start to die off faster than the body replaces them. The microglia run out of energy. The vacuum cleaner stops sweeping. The plaque accumulates. The brain tissue around the plaque becomes inflamed and begins to die. Brain volume shrinks. This is the actual cascade, and it is not aging. It is mitochondrial collapse, expressing itself in your brain instead of your belly fat or your sleep. Before I go on, I need to stop for 4 minutes and tell you what happened to Susan. Because if you recognize yourself in her story, the rest of this video changes. And if you do not, you can skip the next 4 minutes. The link is already in the description. But I think you will recognize yourself. Watch this. Susan is 68, lives in Denver, retired elementary school teacher. 3 years into retirement, supposedly the best time of her life. It was not. Susan started forgetting things small at first, the name of an actor in an old movie where she put her glasses. Then it got worse. One Sunday, she was telling a story to her granddaughter and forgot the girl's name mid-sentence. Her granddaughter laughed it off. Susan did not. That night, Susan cried herself to sleep. Her doctor ran tests. He said her brain looked normal for her age. He prescribed a low-dose memory medication that gave her digestive problems, but no improvement. In November, her son sent her a video, one like this one. Susan read every reference cited in the protocol: Mount Sinai, Karolinska, Stanford, The Korean pharmacology paper. 3 weekends straight. Then she started. Day 3, she remembered the actor's name without trying. Day 7, she walked into a room and remembered why. Day 21, she told her granddaughter a complete story without losing the thread. Here is why the protocol worked for Susan when nothing else did. Susan had tried fish oil. She had tried ginkgo biloba supplements. She had tried crossword puzzles every morning. None of it worked because each was one piece in isolation. The mitochondria reset is a sequence. What you eat in the morning, in what order, with what timing, what to stop after 6 in the evening, that is the activation pathway. It is not a diet. It is not a supplement. It is the exact sequence of what to do, hour by hour, that flips the autophagy window open and tells your brain mitochondria to repair themselves overnight. Most people try one piece. The protocol gives you the whole sequence, and the whole sequence is the only thing that works. Here is what you get when you join this week. The Mitochondria Reset ebook, 7 chapters, 134 cited studies, the complete 21-day protocol. Standalone value, $47, plus 6 bonuses. The coffee and root variations chart, every variable tested for senior brain support. Standalone value, $27. The 6 other brain mitochondria foods with senior doses. Standalone value, $37. The 21-day brain and visceral fat tracker, printable, day by day. Standalone value, $19. The talk to your doctor. Script for when they push memory medication you do not want. Standalone value, $37. Lifetime updates. Every new study added automatically, forever. Standalone value, $27. And, only for the next 48 hours, the personal mitochondria email where you write in once with your most important question and get a real answer from a certified specialist. Standalone value, $47. Total stack value, $241. What you pay today? $27. One time, lifetime access. And if in the first 90 days it does not change what you wanted it to change, you write one email with one word, refund. You get every cent back, no questions, no justification, and you keep every single bonus, forever. Even if you ask for the refund, you are not carrying any risk on this. We are. The first link in the description takes you straight to the page. The personal email bonus disappears 48 hours after this video, so if you are going, go. Okay, back to the video. Because even if you do not pick up the protocol today, what I am about to show you next is the most important part of this story. It is the moment we name the root, and the moment most people understand why the medical industry has tried to keep it quiet. The root is ginger. That is right. Ordinary ginger root. Zingiber officinale. The same root your grandmother kept in the pantry for a sore throat. But here is what makes the brain version different from the supplement version. You do not swallow it as a capsule. You chew one fresh slice, and there is a reason for that. A reason that the supplement industry does not want you to know. When you swallow a ginger capsule, the active compounds, 6-gingerol and 6-shogaol, travel through your stomach acid first. Most of them are destroyed before they ever reach the bloodstream. When you chew a fresh slice, the saliva enzymes activate the compounds in your mouth, and a portion of them absorb sublingually, under the tongue, directly into the bloodstream. That bloodstream then carries them across the blood-brain barrier, where they go to work on the microglia, the mitochondria, and the amyloid plaque between your neurons. One slice, chewed once a day. That is the entire morning ritual. Now back to the science. The Korean study I mentioned earlier was not the only one. A separate clinical trial, this one published in 2012 out of the Tehran University of Medical Sciences, gave standardized ginger extract to 60 healthy middle-aged women for 2 months. The participants who received the ginger showed measurable improvements in working memory and attention compared to the placebo group. A 2021 review out of the journal Biomedicine Pharmacotherapy looked at 27 separate animal studies on Zingiber, officinale, and dementia. The conclusion was clear. Ginger and its active compounds, 6-gingerol, 6-shogal, zingerone, show consistent neuroprotective effects against amyloid plaque formation, neuroinflammation, and cognitive decline. This is not folklore. This is 27 peer-reviewed papers reaching the same conclusion. And yet, when was the last time your doctor mentioned a single one of those studies to you? Quick reminder, if the Susan story hit something for you and you still have not picked up the protocol, the personal email bonus disappears in less than 48 hours. After that, you can still get in. But the email goes away. First link in the description, just so you have it before you forget. Back to the video. Now, the part you came here for, how to actually use ginger root for the brain. First, the form. You want fresh, raw, organic ginger root. Not the powder, not the capsules, not the candied kind, not the pickled sushi kind. Fresh root, peeled, sliced into rounds about as thick as a coin. Second, the dose. 1 slice the size of a quarter, chewed slowly first thing in the morning before any food, before any coffee. Slowly is the key word here. 3 to 5 minutes of chewing, not swallowing the moment it hits your tongue. That is what activates the saliva enzymes that release 6-shogal into the sublingual blood vessels. Third, the timing. Morning on an empty stomach, ideally between 6 and 8 in the morning when cortisol is naturally highest and the blood-brain barrier is most permeable. Fourth, the partner compound. A pinch of black pepper or a teaspoon of cold, pressed extra virgin olive oil immediately after the ginger increases the absorption of 6-shogal by, according to one Indian study published in the journal Planta Medica, several 100%. The piperine in black pepper inhibits the liver enzyme that would otherwise destroy the shogal on first pass through the bloodstream. This is the same piperine effect that makes turmeric work better with black pepper. Same mechanism. That is the entire ritual, less than 5 minutes, less than 50 cents in ginger per week. But here is where most people fail. Mistake number 1. They use ginger powder instead of fresh root. Powder lost most of its 6-shogal the moment it was dried. The active compound is unstable. Fresh is the only form that works. Mistake number 2. They swallow it. I know it tastes hot. I know your instinct is to gulp it down with water. Do not. If you swallow it whole, the saliva activation never happens. You wasted the slice. Mistake number 3. They take it after coffee. The acid in coffee, combined with the milk most people add, deactivates the shogal before it can absorb properly. Ginger first, coffee 20 minutes later. Always in that order. Mistake number 4. And this is the one that matters most for brain health. They take it once and stop. Brain volume regeneration is not a same-week phenomenon. The body needs at least 21 consecutive days for the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the molecular signal that tells your hippocampus to grow new neurons, to start firing reliably enough to produce measurable structural change. Skip even 3 days in those 21 and the signal weakens. 21 days, every morning, no exceptions. Mistake number 5. They expect ginger to work alone. Ginger is one piece of a 4-part protocol. The morning ritual, the eating window, the 7 other foods, and the post-6 in the evening fasting. One piece moves the needle a little. All 4 pieces together is what shifted Susan's brain in 21 days. One last actionable tip before we keep going. Add a small piece of organic lemon zest to the ginger slice while you chew. The D-limonene in lemon peel synergizes with 6-shogal and supports the activation of the same brain mitochondria pathway. Free, no extra step. Just a small thing most people miss. One more thing before we wrap. Going to a memory clinic with the 8 problems we have been discussing today: name recall, brain fog, sleep, energy, plaque accumulation, neuroinflammation, hormone imbalance, blood sugar would cost you somewhere between $1,500 and $4,000 in consultations and labs alone. I checked. A geriatric neurology consult in New York runs around $800. A full cognitive panel adds another $900. A follow-up with a functional medicine doctor is another $500. The mitochondria reset gives you essentially the same protocol that those clinics build for individual patients, structured for the typical adult 60+. Today, with the launch price, $27. Original price was $97. 90 days money back. You keep all the bonuses. You are literally taking zero risk on this. The personal email bonus disappears at the timer in the first link. If you are going, today is the day. Continuing. Now picture this. It is 21 days from today. You have been chewing one slice of ginger every morning. You have been following the morning ritual. You have been respecting the eating window. Day 3, you wake up before the alarm. Your head feels slightly clearer than it did a week ago. Day 7, you walk into a room and remember why you walked in. First time in months. Day 14, you tell your spouse a story over dinner without losing the thread. Day 21, you remember the name of the new neighbor on the first try. That is the same arc Susan reported. That is the same arc Margaret reported. That is the same arc 12,847 readers worldwide have reported in writing. Now, picture day 60. You go in for your annual physical. The doctor pulls up your file and pauses. He says, your inflammation markers are down significantly. Your fasting glucose is normal. Your blood pressure looks good for the first time in years. Your homocysteine, the amino acid most associated with brain aging, is lower than it has been in a decade. He asks if you have been on a new medication. You say no. You just changed what you eat in the morning. He nods politely and writes nothing down. Day 90, you sit on a park bench and watch your grandchildren play. You realize you have not forgotten anyone's name in over a month. You realize you have not lost your train of thought in any conversation. You realize, for the first time since you turned 60, your brain feels like it is working with you, not against you. That is what members report after 90 days. Individual results may vary. Now picture the alternative. You close this video. Tomorrow morning is the same as this morning. In 3 months, you have forgotten this video entirely. You forgot the protocol. You forgot the route. You forgot to remember. A year from now, the names get harder to pull. The plaque accumulates a little more. The brain shrinks a little more. That is also a reality. And it is the reality that happens by default, by doing nothing. Before you close this video, one last thing. In the next 2 minutes, 2 things can happen. 1. You click the link. You pay $27. Tonight you read the first chapter in bed. Tomorrow morning, you chew your first slice. Day 3, the morning gets clearer. Day 7, the names come back. Day 21, you sleep like Susan does. Day 90, you forget what brain fog felt like. Or 2, you close the video. Tomorrow morning, you wake up just as foggy as today. In 3 weeks, you do not remember this video. In a year, nothing is different. Both paths are real. Both end in a reality. One reality has Susan in it. The other does not. The first link. The personal email bonus closes 48 hours from now. Last thing. This knowledge does not belong to the pharmaceutical industry. It does not belong to the supplement industry. It does not belong to the 7-minute appointment. It belongs to you and to anyone in your family who turned 60 and stopped being told the truth about their brain. Subscribe to this channel so no one forgets it.